Red Bud, ladies and gentlemen. We had some pretty good racing at Red Bud 2023. You know what I'm saying? Cool stuff done by Hayden, crazy stuff from Hunter. I mean, that's just talking about just the 250 class, right? There was a lot of things going on throughout the entire day. 450 class, even though we had Anderson and Chase Sexton back, you already know Big Daddy Jet came through and made it happen. We're going to cover some of the details of it as we go through this video, guys. But dang, Red Bud 2023. You know, I want to stop in and talk about this outdoor national season that we've got here. And a lot of people are saying it's a bore. It's not as interesting as it was. I mean, we do miss the days of RC, James Stewart, Chad Reed, and just a lot of people, a lot of good racing back in the day that we used to see for that first place spot. And we haven't been able to see that a lot lately because somebody's dominating the field in a way that it's just he's just dominating it and he's killing it, and it's Jet. It's old Big Daddy Jet doing work every single weekend. But it makes it a little less exciting to watch the 450 class because we already can bank on the Hunter and Jet Lawrence show going down. Of course, we can get into the fact that Hunter Lawrence had a mishap in Moto 2 after having a great ride in Moto 1, which typically he doesn't do great in Moto 1. He normally gets number like third, second, or something like that in Moto 1. Moto 2 this time got caught up right at the start of the gate. It was a pretty gnarly crash. It looked worse than what it was. Come to find out, he's just a little beat up. He ain't broke down. He's just a little beat up. But Hunter Lawrence was just fine. They did an interview with the manager, and he talked about it. It stinks, sucks. It's terrible. We didn't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see good racing every single weekend. I want to see good racing every single weekend. I don't care. I don't care who's in the lead. I don't care who's second. I don't care who's in third. When it comes to this sport, the only thing I really care about is watching some good racing. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about this Moto 1 250, right? So Hunter gets a great start, and he's just running it, man. He's just running. He's doing his thing. He's looking really good. Not a lot of mistakes from him. Riding really smooth. And then you got old Deegy boy. Oh, Hayden Deegan, who was feeling dangerous. You know what I'm talking about? And looking pretty solid. He's running this race. Of course, Hunter just walked off and left him, but Deegan was looking really good. Then you ask the question, where's Hampshire? Where's Justin Cooper? Who are these guys who are running top five right now? Faces that you don't recognize. Some guys came back and they rode really good. Hammaker was having a spectacular ride throughout that evening. Shimoda was doing work, but he wasn't quite there. Tom Vial, it's Moto 1. You know what? Let's stop talk about Tom Vial for a second there. I like Tom Vial a lot. I feel like he's got, a lot of capability. Of course, he's won it 2 times. The MXGP guy. He's over there getting championships. And he comes over here. He's learning our tracks. Second moto every time that kid shows up, shows out, and it looks really good. We want the best racing possible, and I think Tom Vial as he grows into this, if he continues on, if he comes back next year as well, we're going to see a little more action come from him down the road. But it's good to see good racing happen. But we could talk about that Tom Vial and that Ryder D fiasco that occurred where Tom was coming up the inside and Ryder D thought he was going to cut the line off and he didn't, and they came together and it was a big old crash. I don't think that was the smartest move from D Francisco, to be completely honest with you guys. I felt like Ryder D kind of knew better. I knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to protect that inside line. Not the best call. Ended up taking them both out. Ryder D back in the field. He didn't do too much better after that, but Vial still pushed and did work to try to get back up to that top 5 spot. So 250 Moto 1 at RedBud was still very, very, very good, very interesting. Good racing in my opinion. Then the 450s, man. The 450s, you know what I'm saying? And here we are. We're talking about Jason Anderson coming back. We're talking about Chase Sexton coming back. We're talking about, is it going to make a difference for old Big Daddy Jet Lawrence? Is it going to make a difference? Is he going to be nervous? Are they going to mind boggle him a little bit? And tell you, they didn't. They didn't. That kid still got out there and did work every lap, put in the laps, very minimal mistakes. The Jet Lawrence we're used to. He put on the big boy pants and he went out there and he rode his race. Now, Chase, I was hoping that Chase was going to do some work in that first moto, which, he didn't look bad. Chase Sexton did not look bad for somebody who has been riding, been out, a couple of races, but still needs to get out there and show that he can roll with the boys. You know what I'm saying? Chase had to prove something, and I expected a little bit more from Jason Anderson, but Masterpool, baby. Ty Masterpool, baby. This is a big privateer season. There's quite a few privateers that have been looking really good, riding very well, and really just stepping up in ways that you didn't quite expect. For the field to be depleted as it were, Ty Masterpool still made Jason Anderson look a little bit slow, which we can double back and see. Jason Anderson, he's dealing with a neck injury. It's a pretty serious injury. But he's out there, he's riding, he's putting in work, doing his thing. But Ty Masterpool, man, gave Dylan Ferrandis a time, man. I could see Dylan's frustration throughout that moto of trying to pass Ty in the first moto of the 450s, man. It was, it was there, it was happening. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't make it stick. He couldn't make any of the passes stick. And then finally, Chase gets by. Chase gets by. He's gone. And there's Dylan. Poor Dylan still behind Ty Masterpool as Masterpool's doing a masterful job at hanging in there and doing work. So, the one thing I'd wish for Ty, which, we could talk about him all day, but we wish for Ty that he could, get some better parts. Get some better parts because Moto 2 didn't work too good for him. You know what I'm saying? He had some issues ending around Moto 1 that was giving him some overall trouble with the bike. But tell you guys, Ty Masterpool most definitely has capabilities. He got a little unlucky. AC made the pass on Ty there near the end. AC made it a good pass. He crashed. Ty had nowhere to go. He hit, flop, done. Okay, that's just a rider's incident. That crap happens from time to time. But either way, good racing, loads of fun in that first moto. A lot of great action, guys. It was pretty exciting to watch it. Daggone RedBud Moto 2, man. Of course, we talked about it. 250 class. Hunter had that terrible crash at the start of the moto, right off the gate. We were really excited because we hadn't seen any crashes off the gate, right? We were like, daggone, man, this is going to be a different weekend. They ain't getting crumpled up in the first turn. Well, about that, right? Hunter Lawrence gets crumpled up. We see him doubled over. And he looks like, got nervous. Was like, dang, that kid's hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that feeling in your stomach, you're like, oh no, that kid's hurt. He's okay. Alpine medical crew looked at him. He was okay. But at first, man, it looked rough. You see him doubled over. He didn't move. He was laying on the ground. You thought for sure when he got up, he was holding his arm. He wasn't really holding it. He was kind of like holding it down. It's like, ugh. Probably fractured his wrist, broke his wrist. Something's up. It wasn't. He was in some pain, but it wasn't. But let me ask you guys, okay, did you see him? Did you see Levi? Boy, that boy was cooking, okay? Levi Kitchen came off that gate with that heat and that speed that we hadn't seen from him as often as we'd like. Unfortunately, Levi Kitchen is one way or another. He's either he's okay or he's good. The boy looked good in the second moto at RedBud, okay? The boy looked good. Deegan got passed by him, and we thought maybe, Deegan was going to give him some run. He ain't had a chance. Deegan didn't have a chance because Levi Kitchen was cooking on that bike. He was looking the fastest I'd seen him in a while. And it was really exciting to see that because he's one of those riders where I've always wanted to see him do great. I want to see that kid do good. And, man, he looked really good. And it's a little bit of confidence boost that Levi Kitchen needs every single weekend. A little bit more. And this was big for him. And I think Hayden was under the impression, and he was right about it. At some point through the moto, Hayden probably figured out, Hunter wasn't out there. I don't really need to push the envelope any more than I've got to. And he didn't. So, he just ran his race. He did his thing. Good stuff. Yeah, but he ran his race. He did his thing. And then, that led to make Levi Kitchen look even more dangerous on that field. That's who was really feeling dangerous that second moto was daggone Levi Kitchen. Okay, now we roll back to it. Okay, we could talk about Tom Vial again. Second moto, Tom Vial put on a charge near the end of that moto that was just spectacular. It was phenomenal. It was great to watch. I'm telling you guys, And I don't have to tell you twice. Tom Vial's going to be a force if he continues to race in the States, right? If he continues to learn these outdoor national tracks and he gets more comfortable with them every single race, he's going to be somebody that we're going to have to deal with down the road. Of course, I'm still want my boy Joe Shimoda to do something. I love Joe, man. Joe's just like, he's that calm guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a little soft when he came in. He's toughened up over the past 2 years, but I'm really looking forward to Joe actually stepping up, getting a little more aggressive. He need to learn how to pass. Okay, Joe? I don't know if Joe, you probably don't care about my stuff. You probably don't watch none of my stuff, but Joe, you got to pass a little bit better, man. I ain't out there with you. All right, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, you're too fast to not pass. You feel me? You got to get some grit. Let's roll back on it, man. Overall, that second moto was pretty good. There was some decent racing within that one. Just watching Tom Vial come through the pack. Again, Hampshire doing Hampshire stuff. We didn't get a lot out of Hampshire this weekend. Unfortunately, the guy is fast. He's good, but he's a little inconsistent for me right now. But I have a lot of faith in him. Same thing with Justin Cooper, man. Justin Cooper is another one of those riders in that 250 class that you kind of expect to go out there and do some big stuff. But Justin Cooper, it seems like if he doesn't get the world's best start, and keeps it on two wheels, he just sits tight. He works up the field. He has the ability to charge very well, but typically by the time he gets to the point where he can charge and go for the next position, it's late in the race and the gap's 20 seconds long, and it's really, really tough to make a 20-second gap, with only 5 minutes left in the race or 7 minutes left in the race. But I have a lot of like faith. The 250 class is a really strong field this year. There's a lot of competitiveness within that field. Aside from Hunter Lawrence, who obviously that boy gets a good gate drop. That boy gone. We are watching the Hunter Lawrence show. That's the 250 class. 450 class, the Jet Lawrence show. This is not Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. This is the Hunter Lawrence, the Lawrence Brothers show pro motocross. That's what we are watching right now, because those two honestly have so much speed, so much capability. They're just dominating the fields right now. As long as they're staying healthy and they keep it on two wheels, not only the overalls, but the 1-1 finishes from Big Bro Jet, Big Daddy Jet on the field doing work, and it's phenomenal. So I really don't have a lot to say about the 250 class second moto, other than, the Hunter fiasco, of course, Kitchen running the rails, Deegan with that 2-3 finish. That 2-3 finish, Vial finally got him, but at that point when Vial passed him, I'm not going to say Vial didn't earn it. Vial rode his race, but I will say I don't think Hayden was really like, gotta get the second place. I think at that point, Hayden knew Hunter was out. As long as I get X position, I'm golden. I'm going to get my points. I'm going to get my overall win, which was a big deal. Hayden Deegan with his first overall outdoor win. Big energy. I know a lot of the fans were super stoked about it. The kid goes out there. He puts in the work. He does the job. He gets it done. He maintains consistency. He keeps his mistakes down to a minimum. It was good to watch, okay? It was good to watch. It was still a good moment to see. And still yet seeing Tom Vial come up through the field and do some work. Exciting as well. So we could talk about this 450 class, man. We know Big Daddy Jet did the same. We ain't going to talk about Jet. We ain't going to talk about him. We're going to roll right on the second place with Chase Sexton, and Masterpool again. And I'm going to tell you guys, Ferrandis wasn't playing this time. Ferrandis was not playing this time. He wanted to make sure he got ahead of Masterpool and got out the gate. And, Sexton set himself up really well at the beginning of this moto, and he ends up laying it over and then having to play catch up yet again and run his race, which, again, Sexton maybe not 100% where he's going to be, but every lap he clicks off, every moto he runs, Sexton's going to get back to where he needs to be, because Sexton is one of those boys that Sexton got the speed. There's no doubt about that. Sexton's got the speed. I want to see them head-to-head, Jet Lawrence, Chase Sexton, head-to-head, in their prime, as to say. Both really comfortable with the track that they're on, and I want to see some good racing from that. But I will say, I'm going to double back on this. Masters Pool bike, it looked a little raggedy by the end of the first moto. He had the crash with Cian Cerullo. He came back, Masters Pool's bike said, didn't want to run it no more, gave up, and that's one of the falls of the pitfalls of privateers. They don't have the extra parts, they couldn't swap stuff out. We heard James talk about this throughout the race. But Masterpool is definitely somebody that I think if he continues to put in the work, get that consistency, he might get offered a factory ride down the road. I feel like he could be offered a factory ride down the road on the 450 based on his results and him and Marchbanks, right? Marchbanks is another one of those riders that is fast, is capable, got to get a start. There are those out there, and I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Good start, good race. Bad start, bad race. And then there's some exceptional individuals out there. Bad start can still make a good thing happen. Hunter Lawrence is one of those. Doesn't always get the best start, but can still salvage it and make it one of the better rides that you see. But going back, man, Dylan Ferrandis in that first moto at the 450s was so impatient. He made sure he got out in a good position to run and get away from Ty, right? He made sure he put that gap at the start. That way he didn't have to deal with it down the road. And then, Dylan made sure that, he rode his race in a great way because he did kind of close the gap on Jet. Now, we don't know 100% because Jet is an interesting rider as the fact that he only puts as much effort as he needs to put. He doesn't override the track. He doesn't override himself. He doesn't override the bike. He puts in whatever he needs. Like, I feel like if Ferrandis really would have put in a charge, would we have seen, I feel like we would have seen Jet pick it up a little bit, speed up a little bit. But he didn't have to because, Ferrandis made a few bobbles here and there. Jet, I think, bobbled once, and that was what helped Ferrandis close the gap. But at the end of the day, Ferrandis didn't have nothing for him, couldn't catch up to him. So, Jet did his thing. But Ferrandis definitely looking better each and every weekend because Ferrandis is fast. Ferrandis is capable. He's got a championship under his belt. Like, he knows what to do. So, maybe the more comfortable he gets on that bike, situation's right, Ferrandis might be a guy that contends with Jet. Sexton too, right? So there's a chance that we get down the road and we can actually see later in this series some people getting a little more comfortable on their bikes. Maybe we'll see some action happening in the 450 class. And again, guys, like we've been saying about this year's racing isn't so much as boring. It's just not that first place, second place race that we're used to, right? We're used to seeing some battles up front, some switching going on, some good first, second place battles. And right now we're seeing more of that second, third, fourth, fifth battle and, battle for the 14th place and things of that nature. But this season may not be as action-packed as we'd had in the outdoor national season in the past, but we're still seeing some really crazy things as a perfect season maybe rolling around for Jet Lawrence if he keeps it on two wheels, he stays smart, keeps a level head. It's possible. He most definitely has what it takes to make that happen. And that in itself does make this season exciting. It's just as a fan, we want to see some good racing, man. We want to see some head-to-heads. We want to see that action pop off each and every race. We might not get to see it, but we still get to see some action occurring overall. Now, I will say, guys, this one right here, this is the first of the new podcast thing that I'm shooting out here, guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow, check me out. We're going to be doing this after every race. On the recaps of it, we're going to talk about the details of it, what I see. Mad love, big vibes, guys, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you.